Hey guys, it's Awesome. And the other day on stream, I played more Hollow Knight. I made it into the Crystal Mound to get my soul back. Died way too many times, and defeated a couple of mini bosses. That's what you need to know. So enjoy. Okay, so the first thing I did is went back to the Crystal Mound to try and retrieve my soul, but I forgot that you have to dash across that gap, so I actually fell into a new area where I made my way across. These are called the resting grounds. I made my way across and over to this area, looked around at the gravestones, and made my way to this special area where I got enclosed in a dome, spoken to, and casted away. And now I am in a new area of this section, and I have to make sure to keep following this guy, make these parkour jumps. I don't really show it because it's not that important, but we finally catch up with it, and we are given some words, and then we receive the Dream Nail item, which this Dream Nail we get to use by holding down Q, a new ability of sorts that doesn't take any soul. So we actually, after slashing at this tree, it releases these essence pieces, which I go and collect. And now I have 20, because the seer had told me to go collect 100 essence and come back to her. And then I find the stag station, which didn't have a toll this time, so I just call the stag. And then I find this area, which has a dream shield, which is a charm that will protect me from attacks. Should be pretty useful. Anyways, I take the stag back to Dirtmouth, which I didn't realize had a stag station until now. And I open the door, and I make my way back. Now I start making my way to the Crystal Mound, because I still do need to retrieve my soul, because I did not die down in the resting grounds. And I make my way across, but end up dying, end up losing quite a few lives. And then down, make my way up here, and then get hit once, and then I get hit again, and I die down here yet again. So that means my old soul is gone. I retrieve this new soul, and I keep making my way up, and I realize it was all just for a worm, so I just get the worm after dying a couple more times, and then I make my way out of here, because I don't want to deal with this area anymore. So the only way out really was to die. I make my way back to the resting grounds, because I feel like I missed some stuff. And I interact with this warrior spirit, but I don't really want to fight him yet, because he's asking me to fight, and I really don't want to fight him yet, because I don't think I'm ready quite yet. But I do make my way back down, and I find this tomb that I can actually enter, and I come across this enemy, which deals 2 masks of damage every time you get hit, which is pretty bad. But I come across another one of these elevators, so I click the lever and I make my way down, and I realize that I'm back in the City of Tears. I can tell from the window, but it's an area I hadn't been to before. So I make my way up, and once I make my way up, I actually get trapped in like an enemy event where I have to fight these warriors. So I take out the first wave, but then die to the flying ones. And I actually die twice to the flying ones, which is unfortunate. Actually, 3 times. But I don't end up going back there. I don't really want to deal with that either. but I have learned that I can go back to... I go back to Dartmouth yet again, and I missed the lift the first time on accident. But I make my way up, and out, and then I make my way back to Crystal Caverns, where I had seen this Crystal Guardian before. I damage him 3 times with Vengeful Spirit before triggering the boss fight, just so he's a little bit lower. I don't know if it did much, but I do actually handle his attacks decently well. I do get pretty low at some points, but I just keep shooting at him with my Vengeful Spirit when I can, and attacking him when he's yelling out or standing still, or from behind when he's just charged up, his laser beam. And I do end up defeating him. So I make my way up, pull this lever, which opens this gate, and that's all that really happened there. Then I make my way back to the Royal Waterway, just so that I can go back and hopefully fight the boss I encountered the last time when I was down here. So I make my way, I fight this enemy again, which I still find his sounds really annoying. So I don't really like to stay around them too long. But I make my way back to the Dung Defender boss fight arena, and I start fighting him, which it seems to be going well in the beginning. It goes quite well immediately. I get further than I've ever gotten by this point, and I end up defeating him. Which it did take longer than depicted, obviously, but it wasn't that bad. And I get the Defender's Crest, which I don't know what it is. Then I go up here and I spin this wheel, which fills up the tank with water again, which it doesn't really look like water. It might not be water. I'm not sure what it is. But I make my way down through this area, and I do have to fight this guy, which is quite annoying. I don't really like fighting this guy. I land on some spikes, which is also pretty annoying, but I do end up killing him, and I make my way down into this new area, which is the Ancient Basin, and I make my way over after collecting more essence, and I make my way across these jumps. Wasn't that difficult. There were some enemies along it, but it wasn't that bad because I just brought them back to the solid ground. And I keep making my way down into the depths of this place. I think I finally get told it's the Ancient Basin here, that I've reached it. So I also come across the Pale King's Fountain, where you have to sacrifice Geo. I come across Fornifer, and pay a very specific fee for a map yet again. And I come across this area where I have to super dash. I continue along, make my way down. I find these little scattering, glowing orange creatures. And I make my way over. I check these areas just to make sure. I collect some more Geo, which I hadn't seen, but I glad to have found. I check this area and this area where the bugs scattered to, and realize that going down is the only way. So I make my way down, and I have to fight this creature, which also has quite a bit of health, which is quite unfortunate. I do end up defeating him, and then I make my way down, and I come across the Broken Vessel boss fight, which I eventually just end up dying to. I didn't really do that well against him, and I don't really want to go back and fight him. Luckily, my soul spawned outside of the arena, so I collected it. I returned to Queen Station after mistaking Green Path for it. I set my respawn point on this bench, just so I can be safe, and I make my way over to Millbell's bank service. And I open an account, put away all of my geo, and that's about it. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. Just a reminder, this is streamed live from my Twitch, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. Peace out.